So the last thing I want to talk about today is something I've been seeing cropping up in a lot in the forms of op-eds and various opinion pieces, and I want to talk about something. This is sort of a similar take that to Amber's piece about Bernie that was mysteriously disappeared from its original. Sorry,
Who knows?
Edit.
You can find it at Jacobin now, which is a 501c3.
But Amber, your point in your piece about Bernie is that we all need to sort of toughen up and prepare ourselves for the endless deluge of bullshit that you're going to read over and over again. That is going to essentially gaslight you into going against what your right and proper instincts naturally are. And I'm talking, of course, about our friend overseas, the absolute boy, Jezza.
May.
No, I'm talking about the boy, Corbyn. And really, over the last couple of weeks or so, I've seen almost a dozen articles all coming out at the same time about, it's time to get serious about Jeremy Corbyn's anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Now,
fuck off.
They've been doing this in the UK basically since Corbyn became a national figure, and probably even before that.
Corbyn's sexism didn't stick.
And I think we should be very clear, the journalists who are doing that in the UK are 100% cynical and evil.
100%
This is
evil.
just their job is to do this.
No, 90% of their job is to cover up pedophilia. The rest of it is to attack socialists. But it's mostly the pedophilia.
But there's no British...
They're all totally self-aware about that. And
they're cynical. They don't believe any of this shit whatsoever.
There's no British Chris Cillizza who's like, oh boy, another day of politics. They're just all self-hating, disgusting. They look like evil manatees. They're just fucking sickening, cynical creatures who've never experienced joy, or at least not since they made a Welshman stomp on their ass at boarding school, and their lives are shit. And they
hate themselves.
Yes.
They hate you, but they have a sense of duty to the queen.
Yeah,
and duty is the only thing that's kept them from killing themselves.
Well, and also they're not sure they could die because they have very thick skin from all of the inbreeding, so it's very hard. They couldn't kill themselves.
Yeah, no, the distinction should be made that people who have been doing this forever in the UK about, Corbyn, Labour's anti-Semitism problem, 100% cynical. They know it's bullshit. They hate themselves. They hate you. This is their job. American journalists, however, are just stupid and gullible.
Yeah, we're real dumb. We're real dumb.
And I'm going to implore you now, for some reason, as socialism becomes more popular in America, Jeremy Corbyn being one of the most, an international figure,
the international
boy. Guess what? They're going to do it here, and I would just simply implore you that if you, no matter how many op-eds you may read on this, if you give even a moment's credence to this, you're a sucker.
Yeah,
and you need to fucking toughen up because. If all it takes is an op-ed to make you be like, well, he doesn't seem anti-Semitic to me, but a lot of these people are very upset about this.
They seem concerned.
It's just there's something there. I think that we should have to take seriously.
No.
And I'm sorry, even AOC she didn't outright say, oh, I agree with this, but she was like, yes, let's have this conversation. Or
she buckled because she's a very nice person, and we need to be tough and not nice right now.
How do you live in New York your whole life and a Hasi accosts you to talk about something and you don't just brush them off? Honestly. I'm sorry, but it's true.
No, yeah, especially they will definitely approach you to ask if you're Jewish, or I guess.
Well, that's not why they approached me.
Yeah.
They approached me for a different reason. No, but it is. I mean, again, and if you go back and look at this, they really tried to do a Bernie bro kind of attack on Corbyn early on, where they were talking about why did Jeremy Corbyn rape a woman at gunpoint? People are like, I don't think that happened. So what did work, however, was the anti-Semitism thing, because we'll say Europe has a different relationship historically with the Jews.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. And this stuck, so they've been running after it because a bunch of nice, well-meaning progressives are completely buckling to 3 fucking Tory Jews that don't represent anyone at all, who are saying, look, this man is, he supports Hamas, and also he's doing Holocaust. He's gone to garden, but he's doing Holocaust while he's doing it. And people are just so fucking gullible. It's ridiculous. You have to get tougher. You have to not buckle. You have to stick with good people. And any attack you see on them, be like, fuck off. I know what you're doing, and it doesn't fucking work on me. That person stands for what I stand for, and you're a liar.
They let Lord Sugar guilt them. They let this fucking someone who should be Paddington Bear's enemy guilt them using just the most cynical deployment of ID polls I've seen, since like the Raytheon ad where the girl builds the digital camouflage toy. It's incredible. It's incredible. I see you have an article from my favorite publication up,
and I'm gonna read this one because I think it's a perfect example of the angle that they're going to take on this, which is the headline is AOC, I love you.
No, you don't.
Pause.
Okay.
Pause.
Okay. Yeah. No.
There's
I buy your
no
premise.
fucking way this person is a political ally or friend of AOC or anyone who enjoys seeing her in Congress.
Do you just
they
like
bought
gifts?
the NARS lipstick. That's what they mean.
So it says AOC, I love you. Jeremy Corbyn is no ally. This is by Gabrielle Dubinsky, writing in the foreword. And it says here, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez' rapid-fire burst on the political scene was exhilarating for me. As she spoke with verve of overlooked women and marginalized groups, I felt drawn to her charm in a visceral way. I agreed with some of her policy proposals and diverged from her on others. Okay,
I wonder what they are.
Yeah, I wonder what they are. But all in all, you can bet that I was rooting for her success. I still am. Her undeniable decency and civility, all the more stark against the political backdrop of rudderless, indecent leaders, many white and male, have only made her more inspiring. It's because that I'm such a fan, I felt so deflated when I perused Miss Ocasio-Cortez's weekend Twitter exchange with British Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn, a conversation the Congresswoman lauded as lovely and wide-reaching and nothing short of an honor. By all indications, she did not know that for many British Jews, the mere mention of Corbyn's name is triggering. And I suspect it's probably news to her as well that in last year's snap election in that country, 87% of polled Jews said they could not vote for a Labour Party headed by a leader with a proclivity for anti-Semites, not to mention his failure to rid the ranks of his own party of this scourge. Okay, a little note on that poll there about 87% of polled Jews in England. Jewish people as a group in England, already 70% vote Tory in every election, no matter what. So
it's like the exact inverse of America.
Yeah.
It's the exact inverse of exactly.
As the granddaughter of an 87-year-old woman who still wakes from nightmares of Nazis coming to take her away, and of a man who spent his post-Holocaust life painstakingly searching the globe for even one relative to make him feel wanted, I take this all personally. Yeah, Jeremy Corbyn is making your Nana wake up at night screaming because of he did the Holocaust.
This is another inverse. This is the inverse of like the parent who forces their kid to watch Trump's State of the Union and yell at them. He's like, look, my kid's crying when he sees Trump now. Do you think this woman is waking up her grandmother to tell her about Jeremy Corbyn and how he's friends with Hamas and all this?
She's abusing her elderly relatives.
She's doing like the Clockwork Orange thing at the end where she's holding up her eyelids, but it's just like Jeremy Corbyn holding up like a large zucchini, smiling harmlessly. And she's like, this man wants to hurt you.
Do you see now? You were witness to a great anti-Semitic becoming.
This is just like, I did not expect the author to just plop out the Holocaust that brutally.
Yeah,
and
this
that
is
quick.
like the second paragraph.
This is fucking amazing. This is very ham-fistedly done, but it's designed.
It doesn't matter how fucking sloppy it is,
right?
Like,
it's designed for like the uninitiated to read it and be like, well, if
this person, this person
I'm
is
against
so
the
upset,
Holocaust.
there must be
And you know what?
something
By the
there.
way, if you are listening to this and you feel the need to reply with here are the reasons why this person is incorrect in like an itemized, well-actually way, don't do that either. Just be like, fuck off. You're lying. We know you're lying. Jeremy Corbyn is in no way racist, anti-Semitic, whatever. He is a 100% working class endorsed candidate, and that's why people don't like him.
She goes on to write, to be clear, Whether Corbyn is himself an unapologetic anti-Semite or has a high threshold for anti-Jewish bigotry is, frankly, potato at this
It's one of
point.
those two things.
Yeah,
it's definitely one of those two things.
And
Hey,
not
you got a
something
50-50 shot.
and not something I wish to relitigate. For in this day and age, it seems, soft approaches to bigotry are permissible when the bigotry is directed against Jews. To be matter of fact, while some praised the Congresswoman's retort on Twitter, to me it seemed lukewarm. While I generally recoil from whataboutery, I couldn't help but wonder if another minority group, Muslims, immigrants, transgender people, repeatedly called out a noted leader for Islamophobia, anti-immigrant rhetoric, or transphobia. Would Ocasio-Cortez have taken his phone call? Guess what? No, probably she wouldn't, because...
Are we going to get into, by the way, are we going to get into the author who they're a research assistant for?
Oh, okay. So if you've got some tea, I'd like a sip.
We would like some
That
tea.
type of bigotry, you hate to see it. You would condemn it at all sides. And yeah, it's obviously soft pedal here, Gabriel. But, you know, as a former research assistant to Professor Emeritus Alan Dershowitz,
There you go.
Okay.
There you
you
go.
take it
Okay.
on all sides.
The Dersh.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean, again, not even going to read the rest of this article. I mean, yeah.
You didn't. Director of Media Relations, Embassy of Israel. Before that,
wait. But I thought this person really liked AOC and was sympathetic to most of
it
her
was just
agenda.
some of the
just some of the
causes,
things?
some
Yeah,
of the
she
things,
liked the
yeah.
lipstick.
This is another headline in the foreword. I am a Holocaust survivor. The left poses a huge threat to Jews. And I think there were probably something like 12 articles published in various places over the last 2 weeks or so hitting this exact theme, and Corbyn, of course, being the centerpiece of it. Even if you are someone who is, generally soft-hearted, which is a good thing, and you don't want to certainly ever be seen as supporting bigotry or, insulting anyone's ethnic or religious heritage. Obviously, no good person should want to do that. Here's the other reason you have to harden your heart to this. What do you think they're going to do to you or your preferred candidate if they get even a sniff of power? You better get used to it now. And if you don't fucking defend the people who are good and stand up for the things that you believe in against this kind of bullshit, they're going to do it to you.
Get tough.
They're going to do it to you over and
First
over
they
again.
came for the absolute boy.
Yeah. Well, you better say something. And I'm sorry, we talked about it on the midweek show, but Venezuela, they're going to try to convince you that maybe the situation there is more complicated than it seems. And,
Nope. Don't
maybe
budge.
America, should support the people who want a new government because,
Don't budge.
they're really...
You
Nope.
don't know those people.
Nope.
Even if situations are complicated, their solution is not. It never
Yeah.
will be. Their solution is simple and shit, and you never have to support it. You never do. They can't make you do anything, and don't.
And yeah, again, and it's all going to be presented to you by no decent person would ever want to support bigotry. And it's just obviously not. And you don't. So don't let these fucking assholes make you question what you know to be true.
The kind of academic manifestation of what we call the left, but is in no way connected to any left tradition, has taught people to be constantly morally and politically insecure. So you have to get morally and politically confident. You have to. You can't, or they will bowl you over. You have to get your shit together. You have to figure out what you believe. You have to stand for it ruthlessly, unapologetically, and call people out when they try and, morally blackmail you with some bullshit.
And let's be honest, the vast majority of their dossier about why Jeremy Corbyn is, this ruthless anti-Semite is all because he is staunchly anti-Zionist and supports the rights of Palestinians to, have a state and have political rights, in the country that is theirs.
Yeah.
And, and they're going to try, the other thing they're going to do, they're going to try to say, now I'm not saying that, anti-Zionism equals anti-Semitism, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I read in one of these pieces, one of their briefs against Jeremy Corbyn was he said that the BBC has a bias towards the Israeli government's point of view.
Yes.
And what they said, which is true, but what they said is it's not that he's saying that, media is biased towards an Israeli point of view. It's anti-Semitic because he's implying that Jews have control over corporations and their messages. So again, they're just going to try to fool you and convince you that is that of what you're seeing plainly in front of you is not real.
And meanwhile, using a weird, racially deterministic understanding of what constitutes Jewishness.
Yeah.
Where you're saying, oh, well, you don't understand. It's an ethno-state. That's fucking ridiculous. That's racist. That's insane.
So it's pretty simple. And I'm just going to say to that, you're going to see more of this. And forget Jeremy Corbyn. You know, if you live in America or this seems very distant or remote to you or just sort of, you know, like a sort of Baroque argument, it's not worth getting involved in. It doesn't matter because they're going to do it to you and your favorite if they get even a sniff at power. If someone outside the foreign policy or economic consensus of what is considered realistic or objectively true, who represents what you believe in and what the future you want, they're going to do it to them, and this is the way they're going to do it. So, as Amber said before, get tough. So, I don't know. That's about it. That's all I have to say.
That's it, boys.
So
get tough.